When we're running this race in life, we come across three types of people. The first type of people are the ones that match our energy. They match us pace for pace. We speed up, they speed up. We slow down, they slow down. The second type are the type of people that run ahead of us. These are our mentors. They let us know the obstacles in the way and encourage us to keep moving forward, to keep growing. But the third type is something entirely different. These are your toxic folks that seek to latch onto you and hinder your progress or stop you altogether. That latching is a soul tie, and it seeks to keep us from the blessings that God has predestined for our lives. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Warriors? Welcome back to another episode of Reach from Recovery. I'm your host, Baron, and today we're going to be talking about the dangers of that soul tie, how they're formed, and how we get rid of it. Now, if you clicked on the series, you know this is our Bible base, so I'm going to be jumping into the scripture to back it up. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. But first, I want to start off with a declaration for the children of God. You are blessed and highly favored. You're on a predestined journey in life because God knew you before you even in your mother's womb. So that means he knew the obstacles and the challenges you're going to face, gifted you with the skill sets to overcome it. And along your journey, there's blessings and it's his favor so you can get through. Let me say it this way. You're an ambassador for the kingdom of heaven here on earth. You're the salt of Christianity, as it says in the Bible. Your victory is already assured. So much so that people can sense it. It radiates off you. That's how you can come across certain people and they know they want to walk the journey with you. Or vice versa, you can come across another group and they know they can't stand your guts and they know little or nothing about you. But that's okay. Let them hate. Because no person has the ability to stop you on your journey. They don't have that power. Toxic or not. Only we, through our permissive will, the will that God gave us, can hinder our own journey. And that's where the danger lies with these soul ties, with these narcissistic, manipulative, toxic folks. And you may ask yourself, man, how are these soul ties formed? How does it happen even in the first place? And a narc's go-to method of creating a soul tie is to get you in that bed and make that beast with two backs. You may think it's a casual thing, but your flesh is actually being drawn. Don't believe me? It's right here in the Bible. Turn to 1 Corinthians 6:16. It reads, "Or do you not know that he who is joined to a harlot is one body with her? For the two shall become one flesh." Take gender out of it. If you do the hanky-panky with somebody that's mad promiscuous, a soul tie is formed. You become one flesh. And the crazy part about it is that you ain't the first person they slept with. Oh, nah. So they created a soul tie ages ago. And that soul tie that they created with that person, they slept with some other people. So they had connections. And they kept going through life, connecting. So by the time that casual flame gets to you, there's bodies on them. You do the deed, as did I. And then you have a legion of people connected to you via that soul tie from the narcissist. Now you got to go out there and run your race in life. That's why it took so much out of some of y'all. That's why it was so draining. That's why it was so defeating. That's why you needed so much time to heal. Because you were so vastly unequally yoked. I think T.D. Jakes made the best comparison where he compared an ox being joined to a donkey so they can pull a load. Now that ox is strong. It has a big stature with a relentless work ethic. If you put two oxes together, they'll double their productivity. But if you join an ox to a donkey, the donkey is small in comparison, way weaker, and doesn't have the same work ethic. So the first thing you notice is as soon as you tether them two together, there's weight on the ox's neck just from the size difference of being with that animal. Then they start to work. And the work ethic and the strength of that ox is so strong, it'll break that donkey's neck. Then before you know it, that ox is trying to work, dragging a dead thing. Now, we need to stop right there. Because some of y'all have or are still dragging a dead thing. Let me break it down. They're physically alive, but they're spiritually dead. So you're trying to drag them into church. You're trying to force feed them the word. Okay, we need another one. They're physically alive, but they're morally dead. So you sticking around hoping that the person they pretended to be at the beginning comes back. You're pumping all this goodness into them, hoping that you'll resuscitate their heart and they'll be a better partner for you. But it's dead. It's dead. And it may not even be their fault. Something might have happened to them ages ago. But this is where you strip your empathy back, because that's not your problem. Your problem is that you're now connected to them and making decisions based off their infirmity. And you're dying too. Because that narcissist is stubborn and stuck on their ways, and they're actually making progress on you. You're trying to breathe life into their spirituality, but in the process, you stop going to church as much. You stop reading the word as much. You're trying to pump your goodness into them, but through all your failed attempts, bitterness and resentment is building up. Then before you know it, that narc will get completely stagnant. And there's a common move that we all make when we're trying to put a load and get some momentum on it. We turn our back towards what's ahead of us, turn towards that load, put both hands on it, and pull with all our might. Kind of like Squid Games in a tug-of-war episode. We just pulling and pulling and pulling. But we're stationary, not looking ahead of us, and we were running a race. We were on a journey for our purpose, and along that journey were the blessings and the favor of God. But now we're intentionally, through our own free will, focusing on that narcissist, and they've become our idol. That's the danger of a soul tie. It's taking you completely off track. Now here's where it gets even worse. Because eventually we start to realize what's going on. But this may take days, years, decades. And in our mind, we all have a plan for where we should be in life. So we'll turn around and realize how much progress we missed while sitting in that soul tie. And we'll think to ourselves, man, I'm in my late 30s. I should have had a house and kids by now. Or I'm in my 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm losing half my stuff and I'm starting over. Or take it even younger. I'm in my 20s and I've completely diverted my course in life for this person. Or I'm 10 years old and my parents should love me by now. Not realizing that they're in the toxic soul tie that they got born into. So this thing transcends years. But the danger in that part is looking ahead and thinking to yourself, man, there's no way I can make this up. Giving up and staying stuck in that soul tie. Now that's where the enemy wants you. But God. I want y'all to turn to Job chapter 2, verse 25. And it reads, so I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Hold on. So you mean to tell me no matter how long I stopped or paused my race, whether it was 10 days or 10 years, God will restore those years? He's not a God limited by time. And that will is a promise. So we're not to be defeated and deflated because of that soul tie. It's time for us to break the tie and get right back on track. How do you do that, we say? First and foremost, ask God for forgiveness for whatever sins you may have committed during that union. Then get back to your covenant relationship with God. Get back on your spiritual journey. Get back on your purpose. Get back in the race. And as for that narcissist, we cutting them off completely. I mean, cutting them off on social media. We cutting out the family, friends, flying monkeys and enablers. We deleting the old pictures and memories. We gray rocking if we got a co-parent. And we stay in the course. Knowing that Hoover is going to come down the line. But we're going to be careful. All while knowing these narcs out here knocking. So y'all keep staying the course. Stay blessed. I thank y'all for this time of fellowship. And until the next video, peace.